The man was swimming straight toward us, screaming the same words over and over. "Put it back!" The problem was, I had already taken something from his abandoned boat, and when I finally looked at it closely, my name was scratched into the back. 20 minutes earlier, my cousin Devin and I had been walking along the edge of a reservoir in northern Wisconsin. We were staying at my friend Marcus's cabin for the weekend, with his girlfriend Tasha. Marcus had been trying to get all of us together for months. He was the kind of friend who always planned everything, always had an answer, always acted like nothing could go wrong as long as he was in charge. Tasha was the opposite. She noticed things the rest of us ignored, especially when something felt off. Devin was family, but he was also the person I trusted most. We had grown up together, gotten into trouble together, and covered for each other more times than I could count. He loved fishing because it was the one thing that could actually make him sit still. I went because I liked being around him, even if I complained about waking up before sunrise. The cabin belonged to Marcus's uncle and sat alone near the reservoir, surrounded by miles of pine forest. There was no reliable cell service, no nearby town, and almost nobody around after summer ended. That was exactly why Marcus liked the place. The first night, we sat around a fire drinking beer and talking about people we hadn't seen in years. Marcus kept insisting we should make the trip an annual thing. "You say that every time we hang out?" Devin said. "This time, I mean it." "You also said that about joining a gym." Tasha laughed. "He still pays for the membership." Marcus pointed at her. "See, this is why I don't bring you anywhere." For a while, everything felt normal. Then the sun disappeared behind the trees. The lake became strangely quiet. No boats, no frogs, barely even insects. Tasha looked toward the water. "Does it always get this quiet?" Marcus shrugged. "Pretty much. You don't think that's weird? Not everything is a horror movie." Devin looked at me. "He just guaranteed something bad is going to happen." We laughed. The next morning, Devin woke me before sunrise. "Get up." I pulled the blanket over my head. "No." "You said you were fishing with me." "I say a lot of things at night." He yanked the blanket away. "You're coming." By the time we reached the shoreline, thick fog covered the reservoir. The woods behind us were still dark, and the air had that cold smell that usually comes right before rain. We walked maybe 15 minutes before Devin stopped. "Is that a boat?" Near the reeds sat a small aluminum fishing boat, pushed halfway onto shore. A fishing rod lay across the seats. A tackle box sat open on the floor. A red cooler was tucked beneath one of the benches. "Hello?" Devin shouted. No one answered. He shouted again. "Anybody here?" Nothing. We walked closer. A thermos sat inside the boat with its cap beside it. Devin touched it. "It's still warm." I looked toward the trees. "Then whoever owns this thing can't be far." That was when we noticed the footprints. Bare footprints led away from the boat and into the woods. Devin stared at them. "Who walks barefoot out here? Maybe somebody fell in." "Then why leave the boat?" We should have left. Instead, I noticed a phone lying near the driver's seat. The screen was cracked, but the flashlight was still on. "No passcode," I said. Devin frowned. "Don't." "I'm just checking if there's a contact." "You always say that before doing something stupid." I opened the camera. The first few pictures were normal. Fish, trees, the lake. Then I reached the most recent images. Our cabin. Marcus and Tasha sitting beside the fire the night before. Then a picture of me standing outside, taken from behind the trees. "Devin." He looked over my shoulder. "What the hell?" "Someone was watching us." He grabbed the phone. "Go back." I did. Then I opened the last picture. It had been taken only 20 minutes earlier. It showed Devin and me walking toward the lake. The photo had been taken from behind us. Neither of us spoke. Then we both slowly turned toward the forest. Nothing. Devin's voice dropped. "We're leaving." Before I could answer, something splashed across the lake. A man was in the water about 70 yards away. Only his head and shoulders were visible through the fog. "Hey!" Devin shouted. "Is this your boat?" The man didn't answer. He stared at us. "Do you need help?" Still nothing. Then his head disappeared beneath the water. 5 seconds passed. 10. 20. He didn't come back up. Devin stepped backward. "Nope." I set the phone down. Then I noticed something underneath one of the seats, a small metal identification tag hanging from a broken chain. It looked old and badly scratched. I picked it up and shoved it into my pocket. Devin saw me. "What did you just take?" "Nothing important." "Eric, we can give it to the sheriff if we have to. You don't know who it belongs to. We also don't know who the guy in the lake is." That argument ended when the water exploded behind us. The man had resurfaced, much closer. He was swimming straight toward us. Fast. "Run!" We took off through the trees. Behind us, the splashing got louder. Then the man screamed, "Put it back!" I kept running. "Put it back!" Devin grabbed my arm. "What did you take?" "I found something in the boat." "You took something?" "I didn't know." "You never know? That's the problem." Even terrified, that sounded exactly like Devin. We reached the cabin and slammed the door behind us. Marcus came out of the kitchen holding a frying pan. "What happened?" "Someone's chasing us." Marcus looked at the frying pan. "This suddenly feels inadequate." Tasha moved to the window. "I don't see anyone." Devin leaned against the wall, breathing hard. "He was in the lake." Marcus frowned. "What do you mean in the lake?" "Swimming toward us." "Why?" Devin pointed at me. "Ask him." I reached into my pocket. "I found this." Then came 3 slow knocks on the front door. Nobody moved. Marcus finally spoke. "Who is it?" No answer. 3 more knocks, then a voice. "Give it back." Marcus looked at me. "What does he want?" I pulled out the metal tag. "This, I think." Devin snatched it from my hand and turned it over. His expression changed. "What?" He held it toward me. Scratched into the metal was one word. "Eric, my name." Marcus stared at me. "How is your name on that?" "I don't know." Tasha stepped closer. "You said you found it today?" "Under the seat." "You're sure?" "Yes." Then someone knocked on the back door. Tasha jumped. The lights shut off. The refrigerator stopped humming. The cabin went black. Marcus grabbed a flashlight. "That's not good." Then we heard something scrape beneath the floor. Tasha whispered, "What's under us?" Marcus looked down. The crawl space. Something moved underneath the cabin, slowly, from one side to the other. Then it stopped directly beneath me. 3 knocks came from under the floor. Devin looked at me. "Still glad you picked it up?" "No." "Good." "We're leaving," Marcus said. His truck was parked behind the cabin. We agreed to run together. Marcus opened the side door. "Clear!" We sprinted outside. Halfway to the truck, Tasha screamed. A man stood beside it, barefoot, soaking wet. His clothes clung to his body, and his hair covered part of his face. In one hand, he held another metal tag. He pointed toward my pocket. "Put yours back." I pulled mine out. "This?" He said nothing. I threw it toward him. The tag landed in the mud. The man stared down at it. Then he slowly looked up and smiled. "Get in!" Marcus shouted. We jumped into the truck. Marcus drove so fast down the dirt road that Tasha yelled at him twice to slow down. "I am not slowing down. You're going to kill us. Better me than lake guy." We didn't stop until we reached a gas station almost 40 minutes away. That was where we called the sheriff. 2 deputies returned to the reservoir. They found the boat. They found muddy footprints around the cabin. They found the open tackle box and the phone, but they never found the man. Then they checked the boat registration. It belonged to a fisherman named Eric Halverson. He had disappeared on that same reservoir 11 years earlier. His boat had never been recovered. "Did they find his body?" I asked. The deputy shook his head. "No." Devin looked at me. "So, that tag, don't." "I'm just saying, don't." For the rest of that day, nobody joked. Marcus drove us home. Tasha barely spoke. Devin stayed with me for a few hours that night because he knew I was shaken, even though he pretended that wasn't why. Before he left, he stood at the door. "You know I'm never fishing with you again." "You're blaming me?" "You stole cursed jewelry." "It was a dog tag." "That somehow makes it better?" I laughed. So did he. That was the last normal conversation we ever had. For almost a year, I convinced myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe someone had found the missing fisherman's boat and was using it. Maybe the photos were staged. Maybe the man was mentally ill. Eventually, Marcus stopped bringing it up. Tasha refused to go near lakes. Devin, strangely enough, kept fishing. He said he wasn't going to let one crazy weekend ruin the thing he loved most. Then, 3 nights ago, a package arrived at my house. No return address. Inside was the same metal tag I had thrown beside Marcus's truck. Eric was still scratched into the back. But now there was another name beneath it. Devin. I called him immediately. No answer. I called again. Nothing. Then Marcus called. Have you heard from Devin? No. Why? Police found his car this morning. My stomach dropped. Where? Beside another reservoir. Was he there? No. Marcus went quiet. His shoes were sitting beside the water. I gripped the phone tighter. There was something else. What? An old cell phone on the hood. I already knew I didn't want to hear the next part. What was on it? One picture? Of what? Your house. I looked toward my bedroom window. It was taken last night. That's impossible. You were in the picture. What? In your upstairs window. My mouth went dry. You were asleep. Then I heard something downstairs. 3 slow knocks. Marcus? What? Someone's at my door. Don't answer it. Another 3 knocks, then a voice came from downstairs. Soft, calm. Put it back. I looked at the metal tag sitting on my desk. Then the bedroom window behind me slowly began to open. Stay tuned for part 2 of the story.